How y'all doing? So today's project, I'm going to drop the rear differential fluid in this 2001 Mazda B4000, same as a Ford Ranger, little four-wheel drive. Picked it up, I don't know, 4 or 5 weeks ago, and just slowly changing out the fluids and keeping it all together. It's a 20-year-old vehicle, but it's only got about 135k on it, so I think there's lots of life left in it. I'm going to get the spare tire out of the way and then I'll bring you back. Okay, spare tire out of the way makes a little bit more room. Now what size socket? That's a 13 and that's a 12. Huh. Perhaps it's a ½ inch. Well, that fits a little better. I'll get all these broke loose and I'll bring you back when it gets a little more exciting. Okay, I got all the nuts or the bolts loose. Now let's see what kind of mess we can make. Get the last 3 out. Whoop. I'll let it drain a bit and then we'll pull it out and have a look at, see if there's any silver in it. Silver and gold. See what kind of shape everything's in. Okay, I'll bring you back once I get shuffled out from under the truck here. So it looks to be in pretty good shape, other than the oil's a bit dirty, which is to be expected. No gasket. I was reading up and Some say there are, some say there aren't gaskets. Looks like there's a layer of some kind of silicone sealant, which I'll scrape off and clean up and then button it back up and add some more fluid. Alright, I think I'll put the camera out of the way so I don't get it all gooped up with rear end fluid when I clean up this surface. Then we'll have a look at the oil. Okay, so I'm having a look at the oil and I'm not seeing any silver or rainbow. If you're seeing any little flecks of stuff in there, it's most likely the silicone that I peeled off the sealing surface. I wiped down the diff cover. I'm going to I'll take a brass wire wheel and just clean up a bit of the rust. I'm also going to run the bolts through a brass wire wheel. And then I think I've got this Permatex, what is it? Black silicone adhesive sealant. It's hydrocarbon resistant or friendly or whatever. It won't be affected. So I'll goop some of that on the surface and bolt her back up and then fill her up with some fluid. Put a little layer of this Permatex on. Let it skin over a bit. Don't need it on too thick. Just enough to create a bond between the two metal mating surfaces. That should do it. I am putting a little wider strip around the bottom half because that's where the oil will be mostly sitting. I'll let that sit for a few minutes, skin over a little bit. Then we'll come back and put the cover on, button it up, and go around the front and fill it up with some Huel and some friction modifier, as this rear end is it's got the locker set up in it. All right. Okay, that Permatex or Permex is set up enough. Start getting a few of these in. Don't forget the tag. I do have a little bit of a clunk when I take off. Maybe it's the good old Ford clunk, because I haven't owned a Ford in a long time. Even though this is a Mazda, it was made by Ford. Haven't owned a Ford since the 80s. But I guess now I know it's not the rear end. And the U-joints and the drive shafts are all tight. So I'll maybe have to do a little service on the transmission. There's probably a torque setting. I'll just do it good old farmer tight. That should hold it. Now we'll get around the other side, pop the fill plug out, and fill her up. So according to the fellas down at the parts store, Auto Value, and I'm not sponsored by anyone at this point, he talked me into this Lucas Heavy Duty High Performance 8090 gear oil, tranny and diff lube. And there were two types. There was a GM friction modifier for the limited slip diff, or this Redline synthetic, so this was more expensive, but I went with it. Anyhow, I got 3 jugs. It's supposed to take 2.4 liters, so we'll see. That number kind of varied when I looked on the internet. I do not have a specification manual for this. But, so I'm going with 2.4 of these, hopefully, and I'm leaving the last one, the cap intact. I'll just switch one of these caps over when I get to that, because I'll be able to use the half a jug plus some more on the front diff when I do a service on it. Anyhow, without any further ado, I'm going to climb underneath and try and get you set up, and we'll fill it up. Well, the other thing I'm anticipating, in order to get the friction modifier in, I just took a little funnel, pushed a hose over the end, taped it up. We'll see if that works. If not, I may just pour this into the, once I empty out the first one a little bit, I may just pour it in there and get it mixed up that way. Alright, let me climb under. Okay, well, I have been in tighter places. This could be more comfortable. Anyhow, let's try it without that swivel. Oh, there we go. Okay, I put that in good and tight yesterday when I checked the level. I do not know how well these bottles are going to fit. In fact, it doesn't look like they're going to fit well at all. But if I were to put that in place, maybe tape it. I don't know if you can see that. Try to tape it in place and go around from the other side and just pour it in. And hopefully it don't just run out. Yeah, I think I'll try that. See where we get. Let me go around and get set up. Okay, well I taped the funnel in place. Hopefully that hose stays where it's supposed to. We'll try this nice and slow. So far so good. Whoop! Yeah, I knew I was going to make a mess somehow. At least it's not running out the bottom. That's always a good sign. Okay, I'm going to play with this for a few minutes and I'll bring you back once I'm ready to finish up. Okay, so I'm still filling this rear end up, but I'll show you what I did. I sort of backlit the funnel. Then I can see the funnel almost full, so I'm not making a mess anymore. Then I let it run down and fill it up again. Just thought I'd pass. So much for that. Okay, take two on the funnel idea. So I'm backlit the funnel, and now I can see when the funnel's full, I stop pouring, then I can let it drain down. Kind of saved me from making a big mess on the garage floor. Alright, just a little tip. Okay, well I got the rear end filled. This fill plug has a magnet on it, and there was a minimal amount of metallic material on it, so like I say, I don't think this rear end's in that bad a shape. So that'll be that for now. And just tightening this up, again doing it firmer tight. Yeah. And that's a wrap. So hope you enjoyed this, and we'll catch you on the next one. So here's just a little bit of follow-up. It's probably been a couple hours since I put the cover on, and I ran it down the highway. Back home now, and doesn't appear to be any leaks. I'll have a quick look in the morning, make sure there's no droplets, but looks like that Permatex sealant held. It's all good. Alright, talk to you later.